Welcome to Studio 110. My name is, I said that with like a Tennessee accent.
Yeah.
110.
Well, you're with a Mount Pleasant boy today. I'm Justin.
And I'm Alex.
And today we're exploring the question of, is there a meaning greater in life?
Yeah, maybe this is it. Is this it for you? Sitting on YouTube?
Just
watching
watching
us?
Really?
Stick around to find out.
Yeah.
We've got a great show for you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome to Studio 110, a place for investigating faith and spirituality. So my name's Zack, Whitt, and I'm pumped to be back. And I want to ask you guys this. Do you know what one of the most frustrating things in the entire world is? It's getting to the end of a movie or the end of a Netflix show that leaves you absolutely frustrated. Like you get to the end of the movie and you're like, are you kidding me? I just wasted 2.5 hours on that. Or you get to the end of an episode and there's this cliffhanger and you're like, are you kidding me? What's going on? Like I want more. There has to be more. Listen, I want to give you a short list of Zack Whitt's worst movies of all time. The first one, 2010, The Last Airbender. I wanted The Last Airbender to be so good, and it was a total flop. What about 2009, Dragon Ball Z? Listen, I'm a huge anime fan. I watch Dragon Ball Z every single day after school. I still watch Dragon Ball Z as an adult. But when the movie came out in 2009, I had high hopes, and it was a total letdown. End of the movie, I'm going, are you serious? Like, there has to be more. This one could be a little controversial, but any Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. Like any Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie, you get to the end of Spider-Man, you're like, I just want a better Spider-Man. I like the new Spider-Man. I just wanted a better Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire. What about when you get to the end of the Left Behind movies? Anybody say, those were rough. I was talking to my buddy John yesterday about a short list, and he said, hey, go ahead and throw in any Hallmark movie, because within the first 3 minutes, you already know the end of the movie, so that kind of ruins it, right? You know what's going to happen. What about TV shows? Do I have any Lost fans? Any Lost fans out there? Listen, 6 seasons, I was committed. I wanted something to happen spectacular at the end. And all I get is this dude laying on the ground, holding his side, looking up at the clouds. Zero closure, zero good ending. So we get to the end of these movies, we get to the end of these TV shows, and all we can think is, are you kidding me? There has to be more. What about my sports fans? Maybe you're a big sports fan and you're watching this. For me, I'm a big University of South Carolina fan, and it happens every year. Like we get in a game, I think we're going to have this great comeback, and we're going to have this big win that we talk about for years to come, and something happens and we end up losing the game. This year specifically, we're playing the University of Tennessee. We're down by 4 points, but we hold them to a 3-and-out. There's about 1:29 left in the game. We're going to get the ball back. We have a chance to drive down the field for the win. So the Tennessee punter grabs the ball. He punts the ball. It bounces on the ground, hits the back of one of the South Carolina players. Tennessee recovers. Game over. At the end, I'm going, you've got to be kidding me. There has to be more. It's going to end like that. So movies let us down. TV shows let us down, sporting events let us down, and if we're honest with ourselves, sometimes life lets us down. Think about it. It's like those painful moments that you experience. Maybe you're in a relationship and you think that's the person that you're going to be with the rest of your life, and something happens, you break up, and you're left with pain. Life let you down. What about the loss of a loved one? Maybe it's a friend you grew up with. Maybe it's a parent or a grandparent. I remember my dad passing away about 2 years ago. It was unexpected. He passed away at 50 years old. Man, I'm left with moments like I just wanted him to watch my girls grow up. I wanted him to be able to call him and go, hey, Dad, how do you fix the sink? Hey, Dad, I got a problem with my truck. Can you help me fix it? Life let me down. Maybe it's in the mundane. You know, the day-to-day. It's like, I woke up, I got another shift I have to work today. Maybe you're in school, I have another paper I have to write. Maybe you're a parent and I have another diaper I have to change, another sales call I have to make, another ball game, another dance recital, another meal to cook, another house to clean, another yard to mow, and then you're just left frustrated. I would suggest this, it's even found in the big moments of life. So you've just gotten married and you have the ceremony, you come back from the honeymoon and then it's, oh, I'm back to normal. Or maybe you've saved up for that vacation that you wanted to experience. You wanted to go to the mountains or go on a cruise or go overseas. And when you get back, you find yourself back in the day-to-day and you're going, I thought there would be more. So we have these experiences in life that let us down, these things that are monumental, but it tends to go back to normal, and you can't always ride the high. Something rings constant and true. There has to be more than life than this. There's this ancient writing, and it reads like this. What do people get for all of their hard work under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth never changes. The sun rises and the sun sets. And then it hurries around to rise again. The wind blows south and then it blows north, around and around and around it goes, just blowing in circles. Rivers run into the sea, but the sea is never full. Even in that writing, it's like, is there more? Is there actually something more? Because it doesn't seem like it. At first glance, it seems like nothing has meaning and we should just pack it up. We should just pack it in and go, I guess I'm just going to accept whatever happens and I can't really change the outcome. However, if we look at this writing invokes the sense that in order to truly comprehend everything, we must remove ourselves from meaninglessness. Remove ourselves from the vapor of life and take a look outside of life itself. See, I'm a believer that we can't find the meaning of life through life, but only when we look beyond it. So there's no doubt that the pain is real. There's no doubt that the mundane is real. There's no doubt that the big events in life are real and they make us feel good, but we have to look beyond them. There is more. It's almost like the cliffhanger between Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. I mean, think about it. Infinity War, superhero after superhero after superhero vanished. Bucky Barnes, gone. Peter Quill, gone. Baby Groot. Like, are you kidding me? Baby Groot, gone. Black Panther, gone. Doctor Strange, the good Spider-Man, gone. Like, get rid of Tobey Maguire. Don't get rid of the good Spider-Man. Spider-Man, gone. But then we get to Endgame. And things change. I remember actually walking out of Infinity War, and I remember talking to a few of my friends, and it wasn't like we talked for a few minutes or a few hours. We were talking days and weeks and months after going, what's going to happen? Something has to change. How do the Avengers come back? Like what has to happen for all of these Avengers to come back? What has to be done? The script has to flip. And then in Endgame, do you remember the scene? You've got Captain America, and he just got hammered by Thanos. You got Fat Thor, he's laying on the ground somewhere. You know, you got Iron Man, he's kicked to the curb. And then you've got Captain America, he does his best, and he gives it his all, and he's pummeled. And he steps up to Thanos, and he's kind of half walking, half limping, and he's got his shield, and his shield's all busted up. And you can just see it in his eye that there has to be more. It can't end this way. And then the camera pans to the battlefield and Thanos and his legion and his army is kind of coming through. And then in the background, you see the Doctor Strange circle. You see kind of that time warp circle, and they begin to open up in the sky, and all of the Avengers make their way back. There had to be more. The script had to flip. In our lives, I think it's the same thing. What are we doing to flip the script? See, I think it starts in this mental state. We cannot say things like, that's it. I guess I'm just going to accept it. We can't say things like, I guess there's nothing out there for me. We can't say things like, I guess there's nothing else for me. We have to flip the script. You have to ask yourself, what else is there? There's something greater for me. What am I learning through the pain? What am I learning through the mundane? What am I learning through these big moments of life? One of the authors of the Bible writes this. He says, but if I am to live on in the flesh, this will mean fruitful labor for me. Fruitful labor. It's still work. Life still hurts. Life is still mundane. Yes, life has big moments, but it's still work. It has meaning. The pain has meaning. The mundane has meaning. The big moments of life have meaning. So here's the challenge. We have to flip the script and begin to ask questions like this. What is it in life that is greater than me? Greater than my circumstances that I'm actually searching for?
Welcome to our Q&A portion of the show. This is our part of the show where we take questions from our live audience and we see them in real time. So we haven't seen these questions to prepare. We're seeing them at the same time you do. Yeah. Without any further ado,
so this is basically just scared straight, where we just have a straight 12 minutes of being scared. So I think we're going to jump right in with this first question, and it's this. If I ask myself, what is it in life that is greater than me, will my life get better?
Just asking the question, probably not.
Okay, so you can't just like stand in the mirror and ask yourself that question.
Yeah, you stand in the mirror. What is it in life that's greater than me? No, it doesn't work that way. I think when you approach that, it's a great question. When you approach the question, it's what you're doing to find that out after you ask the question. Yeah. I think it's going on the journey to find out what is greater than you. So you do have to have a starting point, and the starting point is going to be your current situation, and then kind of imagine, okay, what is it out there that might be greater, and start that journey. So it's not in asking the question, but going on the journey.
Awesome. Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to the next question.
Absolutely.
How do I look beyond my life?
I think we already ask ourselves those questions internally. So how do I look beyond my life? In the painful moments that we talked about, when you're in the pain, you're thinking to yourself, well, that can't be it. There's got to be something else. So you're already looking beyond that moment or that situation. When you're looking at the mundane, man, there's got to be something more than just the day-to-day schedule. If you're looking at those big events in your life that come back to normal, man, there's got to be something more. So I think internally, we already ask ourselves those questions a lot. But again, it's taking that starting point and then looking beyond it.
Can I press into this just a little bit more? So if there's something greater than the everyday, it sounds like to me what you're saying is I get to my office, I sit down to edit a video, I'm living the base existence. I can't be satisfied where I'm at because there's something greater. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So how do you go along things with, like, can I experience something greater in every day? Like, or do I have to find a new job? Do I have to find new friends? Do I have to do, you know what I mean? Do I have to find new hobbies?
Is it this constant pursuit of something greater, or do I reach a point where I really do find satisfaction in things where I'm at?
Yeah.
It's a great question.
I thought y'all were answering the question.
No, that's my question.
I think that there is. So I'll use your example of sitting down at your computer and working on videos. Yeah, that's kind of the base level. That's what you're doing. But then imagine those conversations that someone walks into the room and you have that 10-minute conversations. You light up with laughter. You light up with maybe you're feeling an emotion, and you're like, man, I wouldn't have experienced this outside of my job, right? Because that's part of my work, but even in those moments, we can find kind of the meaning of life. And maybe that's helping someone. Maybe that's being there for someone. Maybe that's putting a smile on someone else's face. It's not just the task that you're performing, but how are you interacting with the world around you?
So you said in that answer, you said the phrase, the meaning of life.
Yeah.
What is the meaning of life? And is the meaning of life the same for everybody?
No, I don't think the meaning of life, I don't want to answer it that way.
Real philosophical.
I don't know. Can I say that? Press, pause, and go, I have no idea. No, I don't think the meaning of life is the same for everyone, but it is the same for everyone by the stance that I take. Let me unpack it a little bit. Each one of us have a unique divine design. Each one of us have a unique calling, a unique kind of perspective of what we can provide to the world, to humanity for people. Now, what I subscribe to, I think ultimately we're all working towards heaven. We're all I can't even say it like that because we're not working towards heaven, but we're all pointing in the same direction. The Bible puts it this way in Ephesians chapter 4, that we all have unique giftings, but the reality of it is Christ is the head. Christ is the top figure. So, I don't know, that's a great question. Answer it for me, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, if I can answer it for you, this is what I'd say, just being upfront, like, we are all created by the same consciousness. It's all the same person, being, whatever you want to call him, right? Yahweh, God, the Judeo-Christian God is who we believe is the creator of all things. Right. So if you're searching for meaning, you have to start there, right? And what we find through the scriptures is that the meaning of life ultimately is to be close to him. And then we learn that on our own accord, can't do it.
I think he wrote that question.
It's just not possible.
I think so too, just so he could give that answer.
So he could answer it?
Yeah.
And then to answer the second part, is it the same for everyone? It is, especially in the fact that we can't do it on our own.
Yeah.
And that's the message of Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
that he comes to provide a way to bring you towards your meaning, God.
So. Yeah. So what about this next idea? How is your role as lumberjack number 2 in the new Hallmark Christmas special? Like, how's it going?
Well, I just took over. I'm no longer number 2. I'm number 1.
You're Santa.
Wow.
I'm Santa.
Because that's how those all
But
are.
I'm fit Santa.
Oh.
You're fit Santa.
Yeah, I don't want to
CrossFit
have
Santa. CrossFit Kringle.
CrossFit Kringle.
God,
I like it. That's strong. Yeah.
Anyways, let's take a look at this next question. If there is no God, would it make sense ultimately to embrace meaninglessness?
That's predisposing that there's no God. This is what I would say. You and I think everyone, at some part of their life, they come to this moment where, man, there has to be more. I would push back on this question and just say, sure. I mean, I guess if there is no God, but I would suggest that there is something greater than everyone. And I find that in creation. I find that in the universe. I find that in everything that I experience. Ultimately, God is experiential. Ultimately, God and salvation and what we believe in following Jesus is experiential. You've had experiences in your life. You've had good experiences. You've had bad experiences. And so those experiences lead me to believe that there is something greater.
Yeah, and this is the danger of meaning, is that it's observable, it's not quite creatable. So what you end up doing without a baseline, like without going to something, sorry, let me start this over. If there is no God, the danger is you kind of create your meaning because there's no rubric. Yeah. So everybody gets to decide what my meaning is based off of their experiences and their life choices. And so there is a God, and unfortunately, if you don't know him, then you do that anyways.
Right.
So that's just the danger in interpreting meaning on your own.
Yeah.
If there is nothing new under the sun, what is the point in trying to seek meaning? A meaning doesn't have to be new for it to be important. I don't understand the question of that.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah.
So how does following the Christian God give someone real meaning in life?
Well, I think what we talked about is finding that understanding or that baseline. When we follow Christ, we realize that there's something greater than ourselves. So that's the meaning that we're working towards. We've mentioned this in a previous episode, but things like love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, self-control, those are all things that I can subscribe to, but not only do I want to hold, it's things that I want to give. So it's not just about what Zack Whitt can obtain in life or how I can make it good for myself, but ultimately, man, part of our meaning is helping others and reaching out.
Absolutely, and the more we reach out and the more we help others and the more we share the things that the God that we subscribe to kind of works in us, the more we see just meaning play out in all aspects of our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at the next question. Who can do the best Baby Groot impression out of all of you?
Not I.
Yeah,
I think CrossFit Kringle's got it.
Give it to us. Give it to us, Zach.
Groot? I don't know. All right, now I'm going to call you out. You do it.
Oh, I am Groot? I don't know.
Yeah, no, great job, you guys. I mean, that's
Go ahead, Alex.
It's your turn.
Your turn.
That's all we have for our Q&A today. Had a great time doing this with you guys. Keep the conversation going in those comments.
Well, thanks for joining us again for Studio 110, where this week we learned that CrossFit Kringle is for real.
Yeah, and he is the meaning of life, right? Is that what you said?
I think that's what
I wasn't paying
we came out with. I wasn't either. Yeah.
But you were. You made it this far. Apparently you like the show, so drop a like, subscribe so you don't miss anything else. And as always, keep the conversation going in those comments.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today and in 2020. As this is our last episode
This is the last episode of this year.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in 2021.